I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? Let's get into Monday Night Raw. Even though I really do not want to, not much happened on this show. Outside of the Judgment Day finally turning heel and taking out Finn Balor, which is fine. It took 2 years, but it is what it is at this point. But this whole Judgment Day implosion should have been over and done with. They've been a faction for what? Basically 4 years. It started in 22, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the middle part of 22. I think they started maybe around either between May and July of that year, if I'm not mistaken. But it is what it is. I'll just check the Wikipedia or whatever at some point. So who gives a damn? Other than that, man, this show was a nothing burger. It was a nothing burger, man. A nothing burger. WrestleMania is in 5 weeks' time, and it does not feel like WrestleMania. It doesn't. And it's absolutely pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic, man. Oh, my God. This product is so lifeless. I really don't even know what to say. I'm actually at a loss for words. It's bad. I know people want to say, well, AEW is bad too. AEW and WWE are equal, really. They're on an even playing field, if we want to really be honest with it and objective. The only thing that's keeping AEW afloat really is what they're doing in the main event scene. Other than that, everything else they have on their show is utter garbage too. But hey, it is what it is, man. Triple H, Connie Khan, 2 peas in the pod, one and the same. It is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get into Monday Night Raw from March the 9th, 2026. So we kicked the show off with Adam Pearce. He basically wants to talk to Seth Rollins to figure out why he's doing what he's doing, even though he approves of what he's been doing to the Vision. But he doesn't want Seth to get injured. He keeps on getting out of Dodge time and time again, but eventually it'll catch up to him. Adam Pearce mentions that Seth Rollins had surgery less than 5 months ago. So then the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they show up. They just yap. They don't really say much of anything. So there's a bunch of masked men that showed up. It was probably like 150 of them. I was like, holy hell. It was insane. The crowd chanted holy shit when it happened. So Seth Rollins got out of Dodge, basically, with his masked men. So the Vision, they beat up Seth's goons briefly. Then LA Knight came out. He beat up the Vision for a small bit, and then the Vision got the upper hand on him. And then the Usos came out to save LA Knight. And it is what it is. I don't give a shit about any of this. Who really cares? I really don't. Like, it's weird what they're doing with this whole Vision thing. They need to really end this. I feel bad for Austin Theory. I really do. I hate to say this, and I hope I'm wrong, but come April, when they do their releases, Austin Theory might get cut. I hope I'm wrong, but Triple H don't give a single fuck about Austin Theory. And it's sad. Austin Theory is great. I love me some Austin Theory. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, he was better under Vince and everything, but Triple H has done jack shit with Austin Theory. He's done nothing. This whole Vision thing has been dead on arrival for months. So, hey, it is what it is, man. I hope I'm wrong, though. Moving on. So Jackie Redmond, she wanted to, understand why the Usos did what they did. Jay said he doesn't give a damn about anybody. He said they just have receipts to give out. So Jackie Redmond wanted to know how they felt, how the Usos felt about what CM Punk said last week regarding their family. So Jay says he doesn't have anything to say. Jimmy says they might. Okay, that's fine. Moving on, this leads us into the first match of the night, which went way, way, way too long. This thing went close to an hour, about 45 minutes or so. It was a number one contenders gauntlet match featuring Lyra Valkyria, Io Sky, Ivy Nile, Raquel Rodriguez, and Bailey. So Bailey wins. Ivy Nile, she eliminated Io Sky. Io Sky eliminated Lyra and Raquel Rodriguez. So, there's that. Liv Morgan showed up in the middle of this match as well, which was kind of weird, but it is what it is. So Bailey wins, which makes sense, I guess. Ivy Nile, I'm a fan of her, but at this point, if you don't really have any real significant plans for her, just throw her back down in NXT for a little bit. I think that would be her best bet for a little while, because Ivy Nile's great too. She's been great, but you wouldn't know it. So, whatever. Moving on from this match was way too damn long. Like, this shows you whenever you book these long matches, he did it on SmackDown with the Tag Team Turmoil match. Basically, that was a gauntlet match. That went about 30, 40 minutes. And Triple H did the same shit here with the women. It makes no sense. So it's going to be Babyface Bailey versus Babyface AJ Lee. Yay, Babyface versus Babyface. That's dumb. Hopefully Becky Lynch will show up and interfere, and maybe this will lead to like a no contest. I don't see AJ nor Bailey winning here. I think it's just going to be a no contest, which actually would make the most sense. What do you do with Bailey going into Mania? I have no idea. Like, so many people there's so many people that are going to miss out on Mania this year. And it happens basically every single year. So apparently the rumor is they're going to be doing, I think, 14 matches, which would be 7 matches each night. And that's wild. It really should be 16. You should be able to at least do 16 matches, which is 8 matches, which to me, that would be fine. You could do that. But it is what it is, man. Because I don't know what Bailey's going to be doing for Mania. LA Knight, he's not going to have any WrestleMania plans, basically. Same thing with Trick and Mello and Sammy. All those guys. Man, I really don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. Moving on. This leads us into a backstage segment involving Natalya. She was cutting a promo, and then she got attacked by Maxine Dupree. Whatever. I don't give a damn about any of this nonsense. Who cares? Chad Gable, a.k.a. the original Grande Americana, he ran into Danhausen. So Danhausen wanted a mask like his, but El Grande won't let him touch his mask. El Grande tells him to go away. Danhausen said that if he doesn't want to join forces with him, then he's cursed. And so you know what that means, basically. So it is what it is. Who really cares? Can't wait for Chad Gable to go back to his original gimmick, really, honestly. Remember when he was going for the IC title, what was that, 2 years ago? That was great. Can we get that Chad Gable back, please? Like, I was a fan of the El Grande Americano character and gimmick that he's been doing for about 2 to 3 months, and after that, I said, fuck it. This is going on long enough. So, whatever, man. I don't care. Moving on. This leads us into Penta. He had a promo. He thanks his friends, family, and the company, and all his fans around the world. Penta finally thanks himself for believing in himself and achieving the title. The title is for everyone who's never given up. Penta represents the dreams and the fighters of real life. This title is the result of a lot of hard work and sacrifice. It's a result in believing in yourself every day. Together, they will make history because he's here as the new Intercontinental Champion. So then Penta speaks in Spanish, and then he says he has zero fear. So this leads us into the match. Even though this was not the original El Grande, Penta ended up winning via the Mexican Destroyer off the second top rope for the 1-2-3, which is fine. Penta cut a really fantastic promo. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Penta being champion makes perfect sense. I know people online are complaining because, Finn Balor didn't win the title or whatever, or the Finn Balor and Dom feud, that should be over the IC title. No, it shouldn't. Again, the title is, these titles are props, basically, right? You don't need a title within the Judgment Day feud. You don't need that. It makes sense, but you don't need it. You honestly don't need it. And I think that's what people got to understand and realize. Titles are props. These things are props, right? They're props. I do think in due time, Finn Balor will be champion. He'll definitely be IC champion in due time. And I think they're going to feud him and Dom for a while. I don't think it's just going to be one and done at WrestleMania. I think they're going to continue their feud maybe up until SummerSlam. Maybe. I hope I'm wrong with that one, but it's going to, happen at some point. I don't see them just doing Dom and Finn just once at Mania, which is the biggest show of the year, and then okay, that's it. You're done. I don't know. So I don't see WrestleMania being the conclusion of their feud. I think WrestleMania is just going to be the beginning of their feud, and the conclusion that we get will probably be at either Money in the Bank or maybe even SummerSlam. Because I think they're gonna have their first match at Mania, the rematch at Backlash, and Money in the Bank is in June. So we should end the Balor Dom feud probably in June. So at Money in the Bank, you can end their feud there. I think that'll make the most sense. Okay, moving on from that. This leads us into Stephanie Vacker. She has a really good vignette/video package. A really good vignette. So she says she's heard what Liv Morgan said. She sees how good she is after training with the best. Stephanie Vacker hates Liv Morgan's laugh, as well as the fact that she could be great, but she hides behind a trashy man, and she has her friends do her dirty work. The quote-unquote mud huts that made Stephanie Vacker who she is, and she's proud of it. She's forged by the people around her. She's forged in fire, and they have the skill to be here. But Liv Morgan has gotten lazy. Stephanie Vacker says she sees more in Liv Morgan than Liv Morgan sees in herself. She sees a fierce opponent, but Liv Morgan just thinks she's a cheap blonde. She takes the easy way out to get the championship. Liv Morgan had ready to bring all her years of training to face her, and at WrestleMania, Stephanie Vacker will bring the blood, sweat, and tears and experience to continue making history as the women's world champion. Really good stuff here. She got the entire promo in Spanish, which was tremendous. Great stuff there. Loved it. Really good promo. Moving on. So this leads us into more Judgment Day stuff. So Liv Morgan, she's pissed. Raquel Rodriguez, she is dejected. And Dominik Mysterio asks if they've seen Finn Balor. JD McDonagh says he'll go find him. So Dom says he has something he has to get off his chest. I don't care about this, so whatever. This leads us into the Judgment Day. So Dom gets on the mic and just talks some stuff. He said that he should be champion right now, but instead Penta's walking around with his title. And we all know whose fault it is. And Dom really didn't want to do this, but Finn Balor's making him air out dirty laundry in front of everybody. So Dom basically calls out Finn Balor. So Dom asks Finn where's he been. They've all been looking for him. Dom hopes that Finn Balor should make my bad. Dom hopes that Finn Balor is here to tell him that he got him a rematch. So Finn Balor tells him that he asked if he's finished. He said Dom is right. He said, of course, with his help, Finn Balor will be champion. So Finn Balor says that he's sorry. He was trying to teach Dom a lesson. He says that the Judgment Day is a family and will always have Dom's back. Dom told Finn Balor that he wanted to be the greatest Mysterio of all time. He can be. But be the greatest of all time, you gotta learn that you gotta fight your battles yourself sometimes. For 2 years, Finn Balor's been trying to help Dom and guide him. The more he helps, and he tries to lead him in the right direction, the more Finn Balor realizes that Dom's dad was right, that Rey Mysterio was right. Maybe Dom is a spoiled little shit, and they bleeped it out for whatever reason. I have no idea why. That was dumb, so whatever. So then this pisses off Dom. Dom shoves Finn Balor. Finn Balor hits a Pele kick on Dom, and then the Judgment Day, they beat up Finn Balor. So JD, Liv, and Raquel, they beat him up. Dom gets the ring bell hammer, slides it into a shoe. He does the 619, and then he gets a steel chair. He does not one but two frog splashes onto Finn Balor, and then the Judgment Day, they stand tall, and that was the end of the segment. Okay, that's fine. Good stuff. Better late than never. So finally, this makes sense. Thank the creator above that Finn Balor is finally out of the Judgment Day. Again, they'll probably run this feud from WrestleMania to probably Money in the Bank. So that's fine. Good stuff there. I like that. It was long overdue, and really and truthfully, this was just the most important thing on the show. Moving on from that, so Javon Evans, he's backstage with Adam Pearce. So Adam Pearce says 2026 will be a big year for Javon Evans. So the New Day, they show up outside of Grayson Waller and Grayson Waller and Kofi Kingston, they show up. So Kofi Kingston wanted to apologize to Javon for taking his frustrations out on him. Kofi Kingston sees a lot of himself in Javon Evans. Kofi Kingston took all the momentum and got the WWE Championship. Javon Evans could do that, but he needs the right team. Javon Evans doesn't have to answer it right now. He knows Javon Evans has dreams, and he doesn't want to do it alone. Okay, that's fine there, I guess. Whatever. Moving on, we get some Lyra Valkyria and Bayley stuff. Not really that important. Bayley is just hyped for taking on AJ next week and puts her over. I don't care about any of this. Moving on, Oba Femi defeats Rusev. Match was pretty okay. It was short. It was maybe about 5 minutes, which is fine. Rusev looked okay in this match. It makes sense that Oba won, and thankfully it was not long. It didn't need to be long. Good stuff here. So Oba wins via the fall from grace. So he survived the Machka kick. He didn't go down at all. He just, wobbled a little bit. So that's fine there. Whatever. That's fine. But this is how you book two big guys, basically. So it's fine. Again, I wish that they would do something with Rusev. Honestly, if you don't have anything on for him to do on the main roster, put him on NXT. I think that would be great. Like, guys and girls that you don't have plans for on the main roster, put them down in NXT. I would love for Rusev to be back in NXT for a little bit. I think that would be great. Moving on from that. This leads us into the closing segment of the show, CM Punk. So CM Punk comes out. He basically puts over the Seattle crowd and everything else. So, Punk said basically that while the world title was created in the first place, it was because Roman Reigns shunned his championship responsibilities and refused to defend the title. Punk said that he defends his title because he's proud of it, and the people deserve a fighting champion. CM Punk levels up the competition, and if you stand in the ring with CM Punk, you'll have to level up both physically and verbally. And if you don't, he'll leave you dumbfounded and slack-jawed, like Roman Reigns was last week. CM Punk levels this place up. So the Usos, they come out, and they want him to apologize, especially Jay. Jimmy says that this has nothing to do with Roman Reigns, but it does have to do with respect. And he says that, he respects Phil because he has a lot of character and everything else and all that. So, CM Punk responds by saying that that he's not spiritual, and he's right that Sika doesn't have a voice, but they were friends. So CM Punk says that he goes way back with their entire family. CM Punk says that he respects Sika. He didn't know him as well as his brother Alpha. When he lived in Philadelphia, he drove to Pennsylvania. He didn't work for free because Alpha gave him a roof and or gas over his head. CM Punk was paid by sitting under the Wild Samoan's learning tree. Another shot at Chris Jericho. Another nod to Chris Jericho, so he's coming. So Punk basically raised Lance as the shows were going on. And Samu dropped knowledge on him. Everyone in their family has shown CM Punk respect except for that one son of a bitch. That one son of a bitch, meaning Roman Reigns. CM Punk says that if they believe Sika heard and saw that, then they know that Sika hears and sees what Punk hears and sees, and that's and that's a lying, conniving, backstabbing, manipulative, gaslighting, egotistical, narcissistic, plastic politician his son is. So Jay shouts that CM Punk doesn't get it. He wants Punk to say that he's sorry. So Punk says he shakes their hands and says that he is sorry. He's sorry that CM Punk that Roman treated him and the rest of his family like garbage for years and never once came out and publicly apologized for the way he treated the family that he loves. Then he continues on with the promo, saying a whole bunch of stuff about, Dusty Rhodes and all that stuff, called Cody Rhodes his friend and everything else. He says that he's sorry that Roman Reigns tricked the Usos and everyone in the Samoan family and all the fans watching around the world and everybody because he knows that Roman doesn't give a damn about anyone or anything except himself. So he calls the Usos young boys. So Jay shoves Punk. And then Jimmy hits Punk in the temple, and then that was it. And then the Usos and Punk stare each other down, and then that was it. So, whatever. This is fine, I guess. I guess this is interesting, but it is what it is. Whatever. Where's this going? I have no idea. I really don't. This, to me, was kind of a waste of time. Nothing really happened, but it is what it is. But Monday Night Raw, for the most part, was boring as per usual. Only thing I liked on the show was the Judgment Day stuff, and the CM Punk and the Usos stuff was okay as well. Other than that, everything else on the show was just lackluster and boring. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe, peace.